Chapter 1: The Discovery of the Laws. In the 16th century, when Galileo Galilei, basing himself on Copernicus' studies of the movement of the stars, declared that the Earth was not the center of the universe, but just another planet orbiting around the Sun, he was not only establishing a different cosmovision. Fundamentally, this was the start of a new phase or evolutionary time for mankind. This was the beginning of the scientific discovery of the laws that govern everything that can be observed. Besides astronomy, biology, chemistry, medicine, and all the natural sciences based on a new method of seeing, measuring, and verifying reality also came to the same conclusion, which at the time was surprising. Nature does not respond at random or upon the whim of an emotional and ill-humored God. Behind everything we see, there is a law. 400 years later, physics is the science that has come to the closest to the subtle frontier between what we see and what we do not see, and seems to have reached the very core of the laws of nature and how they behave. The idea that social phenomena, be they collective or individual, are governed by laws as exact as those that we have discovered through physics and natural science may, first of all, logically support the philosophical principle that says, behind every phenomenon, there is a law. Secondly, and this is what is most attractive, if we accept the existence of laws for social phenomena, the processes of our civilization on planet Earth would no longer be just a loose wheel in the universal panorama, or to put it another way, the processes of development of human beings and their social organizations would also be included in the universal order and subject, therefore, to the law of evolution, which means that our present civilization will be just another step in the ascension of consciousness, and an additional link in the long chain that joins and relates the whole universe, from the biggest to the smallest, and from the subtlest to the densest. This chain gives meaning to our past, explains our present, and gives our future direction by setting it on track towards a new form of civilization, in which greater harmony, wisdom, understanding, love, and satisfaction for all human beings will reign. As we come to understand how the universal laws operate, we can see a great door opening up towards the future, in which we will be able to build a new civilization based on our understanding of the laws. What remains is the task of verifying through our experience the existence of this great map that governs the perfect order of the universe, which affects and controls our daily life in a direct and forceful way. As soon as we become aware of the existence of the laws that maintain the universal order, and we prepare to obey them, we begin to form part of the team of builders of a new evolutionary moment in present civilization. Then we will be able to understand the reason for our existence on this planet, and give profound meaning to all the experiences we have here. We will be able to free ourselves from the belief that someone is to blame, and the idea of injustice by understanding that all events merely have a perfect pedagogical purpose for us to discover the law that governs them, and thereby become able to transcend conflict, illness, pain, and death. Nothing is random. Everything that happens is governed by perfect laws. Although we may not know them, we can verify their presence in everything that happens. If we learn what the process of the universe is about, we will succeed in learning how to transform our lives, how to flow with the universe, and how to have a life of great quality and one with excellent results. Chance does not exist, nor do good or bad luck. There is no unfairness, and therefore no one who is to blame, and no punishment. Accepting this idea involves conflict, because our mind is full of ideas, concepts, and beliefs that are opposed to the principles of the universe. Let us consider the following definition of universal laws. They are immutable principles that govern the arrangement of the universe and the processes of manifestation, creation, operation, and comprehension of the universe. Within the law, what I need. Everything within the law functions well and flows on its own. Everything that we need is within the law. we need everything that life gives us. We are within the law when we value, love, and enjoy. Obeying the law frees us from suffering. Outside the law, what I want. What is outside the law does not flow. Everything that we want is outside the law. We want everything that we do not have. We are outside the law when we complain. What we want is the cause of our suffering. The law is not individual, but rather universal. Yet, what is completely individual is the understanding of the law. If people do not understand the law, they cannot obey it, so they will not succeed in getting anything to work. The principles developed by human beings to organize a society, unlike the universal laws, are variable, and therefore they are subject to change and repeal. But to the extent that these principles enable human society to be organized within certain parameters which people commit themselves to respect or feel obliged to obey, we can also call these human rules laws of men. The laws of men are variable principles that govern the territorial, economic, and social arrangement of human organizations. The laws of the universe are more like the laws of physics to the extent that to be able to catalog them as such, first we have to verify that each time they are applied, they produce the same result, and that when we learn to manage them, we always obtain a specific purpose. The laws of the universe are not written down in books, that is where the human concepts about God, the law, and order of the universe are to be found, but not the truth of them. Every law is recognized by the result, because it is not a question of beliefs, but of verifiable truths. One cannot accept what one does not understand, and that is why it is important to study the laws in order to understand how the universe functions. We all have exactly what we need, no more, no less, and it is impossible to lose it. The fundamental characteristics of the universe is abundance. The only thing we have to do is to learn how to access it. An exercise to discover the laws. This exercise consists of making 4 lists. Number 1. The list of what you want. What we want is what we do not have. The I wants can refer to financial characteristics, physical, taller, thinner characteristics to our family relationships, where we live, etc. This list is very important, not only for recognizing the law, but also the progress in spiritual development. Number 2. The list of what you have. Starting with things as basic as a body full of qualities, and following on with our knowledge, experiences, friendships, family, where we live, work, function, etc. On completing this list, we can ask ourselves how much we value what we have. By recognizing, valuing, and being grateful for everything we have, which is more than we imagine, our results will be more satisfactory in every respect. Number 3. The list of what is happening around you. What we see on the news, the behavior of the people around us, social situation, physical events, etc. Number 4. The list of what is happening to you. What is happening to someone can be totally different to what is happening around them. Sometimes people say, I cannot be at peace with everything that is happening in this country. However, if we really think about what is happening to us and find that there is nothing dreadful, what are we complaining about? Often, we complain because we want things to go our way. That is why it is useful to make a list of all the situations that cause us suffering, so that we can use them to train ourselves and cease suffering by applying information of wisdom. The law is not a belief, it is something that we can verify with the results that we obtain. We observe our results in the following situations. What happens to us when we do not get what we want? What is the result? Is it suffering, dissatisfaction, or frustration? If it is, then we are not within the law. What happens to us when we do not value what we have? What is the result? That we will begin to lose it? Because if what we have is of no value, then it must be that we do not need it. This will be the consequence of violating the law. Valuing everything we have is the key to prosperity. What can we do to live within the law, i.e., to obey it? By verifying the results, we stop going against the law, and we understand that all suffering is associated with breaking a law. Therefore, if we learn to feel satisfied with everything we do, we will begin to obey the law. There are two types of results: inner, of happiness, peace, and love, and outer, relationships, health, resources, and adaptation to the environment. When we do not obtain these results, it is because we do not know how to, and therefore, we need to learn. What the law says is that we cannot stop suffering unless we accept, but we cannot accept what we have not understood, and we cannot understand something unless we have an experience that shows us how the laws of the universe operate. Innocence, unconsciousness, or ignorance of the law do not exempt us from the result. Whether or not we know the law, the result will be the same, and it is therefore better to know how it works in order to obtain satisfactory results. To escape from our system of false beliefs and from the ego, we need to follow this sequence. Number 1. Make a mistake, and on making it, recognize the existence of the law. Number 2. Understand how the law operates. Number 3. Decide to obey the law. Obeying the law, or placing ourselves within it, consists of enjoying everything that we do and accepting others as they are. If we try to oppose some form of behavior on someone, it is because we do not accept them as they are, and we want to change them. This is a transgression of the law of evolution. The result will be conflict, disharmony, aggression, etc. Because we are intent on changing something that is not necessary to change, what is necessary is what we learn from this situation. The law is designed for us to change internally, not for us to try and change others.